Okay, got this box from MudUK with my Defender vent. Sounds like a lot of plastic stuff on here. Alright, let's see here. Alright. It's a bunch of plastic parts, so I'm not thinking anything's broken. Alright, one DEFENDERVENT 2.0. Wow, that does sound like a lot of plastic little pieces. What we got here? Instructions. Whoa, very nice color. Alright. Set those aside. Alright, got two little pieces here. Ooh, this is cool. Well, that looks pretty flimsy, huh? This is how it comes. No padding of any kind. It's kind of weird. This doesn't really roll easily. I don't know how that's going to be easy to do. Oh, I guess it's supposed to be down like this. I guess this goes towards the vent. And this opens towards us, or is it this way? You see how it's like dented here? Let's see if the other one's the same. I mean, I know this was invented by someone else. And MudUK, I think, got the rights to it, because the people who originally invented it, their website's no longer around. To the DEFENDERVENT 2.0 site. Alright, I really hope this thing isn't a waste of money. Alright, it looks nice. It looks like they did a good job cleaning this up. Alright. Alright, this is where the money is in making this extrusion here. Alright. Okay. That looks pretty cool. It's stuck in there and there, right? Alright. Okay. Yeah, and it is a much larger section. Alright. Check the other one. Just making sure nothing's cracked. I mean, this was just jostling around in the box all the way from the UK. Alright. This one seems alright. Both of these seem okay. And then we get one little adapter. These are the vents for the side, for the windshield. Sorry, not for the windshield, for the side. These are the clamps for the hoses. So there's two vents, one clamp, two clamp, three clamp, four clamp. and one strip of hose. I guess that should be enough from one of these over to the side of the vent itself. And that's it. Oh, that's... I guess these are very, very good. I hope they are. Go ahead and put this piece back here. I really hope these things work good because they don't seem to be very reliable. You know what I mean? It's like there seems like it'd be shut down completely, and then sorry, yeah, there. No, I don't remember which way it goes which. If this little lip right here goes towards the back, like towards the windshield. I'll know once I go look at the car. But it's the middle of the night now. All right, well, there it is with the instructions and the receipt. We'll try to install this in the next couple of days. All right, so you have the old dash and you have the small vents, right? You can see right here, these are the small ones. The large one would be much, much larger. There you go, see the comparison right there? Okay, so now the little lip, this little lip right here goes towards the windscreen, so that's where it would fit, right in there. See, this one has no opening on the top, but you're gonna put in the newer style. Maybe you want to put one of the MudUK pods, or anything else for that matter. Maybe you want to have that little connector that goes right here that you can swap out the ashtray for the connector to hold your phone or anything like that. Well, first thing, you start off by removing the dash top. Take off the small pieces. Take off the dash. Set that aside. So now, in my particular case, I wanted to fit the DEFENDERVENT 2.0 by Weiberg, sold by MudUK. And here is the vent. Now the vent that was there before was this little vent, and that vent went in there. Like this, I'll show you how that goes in there. So that just slides in there like that, and that little piece there, little tab, gets held in place by one screw right there, right? And then this piece just floats there. When the dash goes in, there's a hole on the outside, and then you put in the small piece that fits perfectly over the outlet of that vent. And there you go, right? So now let's say you want to switch out to the large one. Now the previous owner did some stuff where he trimmed out this edge right there and right there, so that it would, it's gonna pop out, so it would fit right over the top. Now you wouldn't really be making use of these extra spaces right here, but you would be able to put in the newer style dash, which he did provide with the car. So you pull these out, and now you get the one that says right side right there. Now in the new ones, there's two holes here, and it's bolted to these two parts right here. So if you were to come in here, slide that in,
it will eventually fit in there. It just has to fit a lot lower, right? It has to fit underneath this little lip. And you can see there that there's still gaps to where this is going to go. Now, the angle of this, the angle of this right here lets you know that it's going to rest right up against the angle on the inside of this piece of metal right here. So I can give you a guide. That's a good guide right there. So now you'll know what kind of angle this is going to have once it's sitting properly. Now I can't go any further down because this piece is supposed to be a little closer to here. It's not being allowed to because of this cut right here. Now, lucky for me, the previous owner, when he did these cutouts right here, he presented it here in the hole that's already in the metal cutout. He presented it here, and then he made the holes where they're gonna be on the metal. As you can see, there's a little dimple right there. A little dimple right there. Let's see. So now I know where I have to go to. Now I don't need to put in these little square pieces because the large vents that are going to go in there, that came with the DEFENDERVENT 2.0 that have the little rollers inside the center here, those have the same spacing, and those only have to be screwed in with a little sheet metal screw. It doesn't have to be into this little piece. So you can go ahead and remove these. Go ahead and pull these out. Whoop, there you go. Oh, that flew. And the same thing with this one. So now I know where I have to cut, right? I have to just bring this all the way back and cut in. If I wanted to make the square, I could make the square. That would just take a little bit of filing and some time, and I can reintroduce these small little pieces. And that's a possibility too, but you don't need to. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this up. Let's see here. Trusty Sharpie. And then I'm just going to round this off and cut it back. Same thing here. Come back and then round this off. And that should be enough for the new piece. If it's not, I'll have to just cut again. But to get an idea, you can put this upside down. Just make sure it's going to fit right there. I have to cut a little bit more than that. Okay, right there. Okay. Grab the Sharpie again. And that edge is going to be more like here. Alright, so I'm going to cut it like that, across, leave this same lip right here. I don't have to take this off. And then, it's better to cut a little bit and then have to file it down to the right size. So I'm going to start with this side first. Let me get that cut out. So, I've cut it out, rounded off the edges, cut it out over here, rounded off the edges a little bit, use some files, protective eyewear, and now let's see, when this goes in there, I have to move the little holes out of the way. Okay, so it is sitting flush. The flange is sitting flush against a piece of metal there, and it does fit on this side and on this side. Now I'm not sure if it should, because I had to raise this up and I had to really push this up. As you can see, there's a little bit of a bend here. I had to really push this up in order to get that gray plastic piece out from underneath it that was covering this tube right here. Damn, I really cut myself there. And so I'm not sure if this needs to sit up on top or just below. And if I pull this down just a little bit, I can tuck this under this top edge, under this top lip, and it's still flush here. And this is still looking pretty good. I'm just gonna have to bend this part up a little bit, but I'll be able to get some type of marking utensil around here so I can mark the holes, then drill through here and put 2 1/4-20 bolts here with some nuts in the back, and that'll fix this in place. And then it's just a matter of this hose going where it needs to go and just connecting to there. Now when I do get the MOD air conditioning system, that's all going to go in this part of the car since it's a left-hand drive. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I think all the hoses go inside this lower portion here, and then they would feed, I guess they would come up this way, because on the pod that I bought from Mud, I'm gonna put it up here. I actually bought it from Lucky 8 in Buffalo, but it's from Mud. I'm going to put the outlets, the vents, up on top, like they are in a Puma vehicle, and then the hoses will come down, I guess, go through the bottom here and make their way to the Ministry of Defender HVAC system. So I'm not really sure, but maybe there's maybe it's 4 outputs, 1 to here, 1 all the way to the other side. I guess it runs underneath. 1 goes up onto whatever vent is here, the other one goes up onto this vent, and the other 2 will go up to the front facing face vents. I think that's how it goes. I think everything goes inside here underneath, and then we'll have 1 output, 2 output, 3 output, 4 output. That'll be cool. And then since I already have these pieces, I'll be able to have the output that goes out of here, over, and over to the side. Now that's another piece that we have to do. This piece here, I have to, this is where the bolt goes and where the little Land Rover emblem goes. And then I think I have to make the hole somewhere around here for this itty bitty 22mm vent. Now fortunately, I have a 21.5mm Milwaukee hole dozer, which is a 7/8. Oh, it's 22mm by the time it's done. 7/8. So I'm going to use this to make the hole there. I have to look at the instructions again and see exactly where it is that they want me to do it. I think it might be somewhere around here. So wherever it is, whether it's here, 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 I'll get it done. Yeah, I think it's right around here. Yeah. So I think it's on top of this raised area of rubber. So make it through there. Once that goes there, oh yeah, that is where it has to go, because that's where it would be a straight shot from the output of that vent across and into here. So all right, we're moving forward. Here is the dash piece that I'm going to put in. So just to make sure that this will be all right to be under the lip before I mark and drill these 2 plates, I want to go ahead and just present this up top here. Just offer it up, as they say. All right, let's see. If that was tucked in, if the vent piece is tucked in the hole, there we go, that lines up with that hole there. And that lines up with that hole there. Awesome. Okay. Okay. This is cool because this will come off. This coin tray will come off, and then the mud pod will go here, which is completely the exact width, and it goes all the way across. And I'll have 2 face vents up here. All right, let's see. First, let's try the original wall vent. Okay, great. That's how that would go. So yes, if this plastic piece was above this ridge, that would not work. That would press the dash top up, and we don't want that. Okay, so that works. That's good. Now let's try the actual fancy one that's brought over. All right. Yep, that will work. Now let's just make sure that these cutouts work in the spacing that is left. So now we'll pull off this dash piece, set it aside. Yeah, that fits in there, and that fits in there. Okay, good. You're gonna have some room to play. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna leave it tucked underneath there. That means that the pressure on this was the correct one, and then bolt it on. So in order for me to put the gray piece back in here, I may have to loosen the 2 pieces. Man, that's gonna be a pain. How am I gonna do that? I have to loosen the 2 pieces that go in here in order to be able to push this up, because otherwise, how am I gonna get it past this? And I don't want to lower this whole piece. Huh. That is interesting. I might have to leave that out up until next month when I put in the MOD AC system. But one other thing that I forgot to mention is that here, let's tuck this down. You did cut some metal, right? We cut some metal. So we have to paint it. So I'm gonna put tape here at the bottom. I have some of this spray, and I'm just gonna coat it in this spray paint, just to cover and not let it be exposed to the elements. And here in Florida, things won't really rust that quick, but they'll surface rust overnight because we have a huge amount of humidity. We just had a big storm come through. And then once this is done, this piece is put in, we'll move on to tackle that obstacle right there. I'll update in a minute after I've painted this and put this piece in and drill the 2 retaining screws. I gotta go to the hardware store. Okay, after quite a bit of work, I went ahead and touched up with paint the stuff that I had cut open here and filed away. I lined this up, drilled. One of the holes didn't come out right, so I had to kind of like make it oval so that I can put some 1/4-20 and 1/4-20 lock nuts on the back. Straighten this out a little bit just by hand. Went ahead and cut a little bit of hose that comes from the DEFENDERVENT 2.0 in there, crimped it. That clamp, I was able to only get like 3 clicks on it, which is more than enough. I can still move the clamp around and it's still secure. Now, in order for me to keep this on there, I made it a little bit long so that whenever I have to see here, I drilled this, by the way, with a 22mm hole saw. So this way, I can take this off whenever I have to take the dash off, and it can just sit like that. It can come out of the way and still close the door if I needed to just leave the project for a few days or a few hours. When you drill the hole in the required spot right over here, which they show you in the manual, it's exactly in the instructions exactly how to measure that out. You're gonna have to cut out the thickness of this big piece of rubber here, and inside that piece of rubber there is a piece of metal. There is a piece of metal supporting all of this because, of course, this is a grab handle. I was able to get 4 clicks on here, and then I could shorten it up another inch easily and still move things around. I just wanted to make sure that I can still get it off. Let's see. Let's see here. All right. That's where it would be when it's fully put together. And the hose does a little bend underneath this little support here and back up, and it's clamped on there. And this was a little bit difficult to put here, but we got it. While I was at it, I went ahead and replaced the nozzles, the jet nozzles, both of them. I have 2 of them on this car. So this one and the one over there. So this is in. We're good. Next up is the other side, and here's what you end up drilling out. There's a piece of metal inside that side grab handle. Pretty thick piece. It's still warm. And then there's rubber on either side of it. So that's where we're at. Getting the 1/4-20 nut on this side is easy to secure this, but then again, when are you going to be removing this in the near future? You're not. Excuse me. So then in order for me to get the piece of plastic in here, I'm not going to be able to bend this up and out of the way anymore, because if I did that, I would crush these 2 flanges right here and crush this in. So I will have to get a tool in there to loosen up that lock nut and that bolt in order to pull this piece out and be able to put the plastic piece in. I'm not going to do that till I'm to the very, very last bit, because I'm going to be making holes here anyway for the hoses that are going to be coming up to the face vents that I'm putting on the MudUK pod that's going to go on top. That's going to be in a later video. But all right, just give me a chance, and I'm going to finish cutting out that side and putting the other one of these, which is right over here somewhere. Here it is. And putting this on the other side. All right, in a minute. Okay, so I've already installed that vent, and it has everything squared off into the vent, side vent that's going to go to the demist side door glass. And now I've already cut out this one from the original one to the much larger spaced out one. I originally thought that that support bar right there was gonna interfere, this bar right here, and it almost does, but it doesn't. It doesn't actually interfere. So that's fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and in order to make it a lot easier, since I'm gonna have to drill on both sides of this in order to support the flange right there, one of these flanges, this is going to go in like this, right? That's going to go in like so, right in there. Let me show you what it looks like when it's pressed in there. Here's the vent. Now it fits almost flush, not exactly flush, but almost flush, but that'll be fine. Like it's not going to interfere with the dash top coming in. And then over here, the flanges in there are flush. Let me show you. They're flush with the plate, you know, with this metal plate. Now, since this plate already has some broken tabs, like you see right there, that broken tab right there, I went ahead and purchased this one from Rovers North. So I'm gonna take this time to swap that out, and that'll give me a little bit more access for the time being. So you gotta remove a bunch of these bolts. You gotta remove this one here, this one here, this one here, that one, these bottom ones. There's one back, no, there's not one back there. You gotta take out this system from here, which comes apart with the screws that are holding it on that side. And that's that. And then we can switch out the metal surround. Well, this plastic surround, and swap it out for this metal surround. So I've removed one screw back here, a bolt back here, screw and a nut here. There's a nut on the top side of that right there, and a bolt there, another bolt there, and another bolt there. And remove the 2 screws on that side there. So that's separated this, and that lets you pull this out. That's plastic. It has a broken tab on one side and almost all the way broken tab on the other. So now this is all open, and now this lower support is just loose here. So you gotta pay special attention at that. As you can see, I put down this little rubber line up here to protect everything. Now's a good time to look inside and see what's what. See what kind of connectors have been put in. See if there's anything loose in there that you need to look for. Nothing I see there, it's too out of place. Alright, so this can move out of the way for now. And I have been told that you can get rid of this thing altogether, but there is a mechanical portion here. Wait, I don't know exactly what that does. I'm going to find out where that lever goes to. If you know where that lever goes to, let me know in the comments below. Please reach out to me. I mean, I'll probably figure it out, but I know that here's a ground, and here's the 2 speeds. Speed 1, speed 2. So I guess these 3 connectors would go to some kind of switch, but then this lever here probably opens some type of flap down in the heater area, in the vent area. So got to figure that out, and to figure whether I'm going to need this or whether the flap is an automatic opener or closer when it comes to the MOD HVAC system. So I'm going to move this out of the way, because my next concern is, oh, by the way, these 2 cables here, one is for ignition power and one is for ACC power. I had the folks over at Safari HP connect these 2 cables on my new ignition and just leave them here, because eventually I'm going to, once all the hoses and everything are here for the AC system, I do want to put in 4 relays. I guess one will be for the 2 seat heaters. The other one will be for the GPS heads-up unit. The other one will be for the AC system, or the AC system one might actually be in the engine compartment. And then the other one will be for the power windows, and then I'll power them specifically from these 2 wires going to the relays, and then from the relays fused to the switches themselves, and the switches will all be right here in the MUD console and the MUD pod up on top. Alright, so now I have to line up the hole here, drill, and put a screw to support it. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to put only 1 screw over here, because I'll be able to get to the other side of the nut on this side. I won't be able to get to it on this side because there's all kinds of things in the way. So I won't be able to get back there very easily at all, and this thing is all solid. So I'll put only 1 on here, and that'll secure it, and that'll be fine, because the dash top will be up above this, and it'll be pressing this down, and it'll be great. And then I'll be able to put in a small piece of hose here with the clamp and have it do the same thing as on the other side, where it'll come down, around, and then it'll go into the outlet here, which I still have to figure out where it is that I have to drill. And drill the hole, put the vent in, and put it together. This is so dusty down here, and I will be able to, blow it all out once I have this bottom piece out when I'm doing the AC unit. But I might as well just go ahead and blow it out now. Start getting a lot of dust out of it. And I'll go ahead and cut a piece of hose and do this same type of protector here for any chafing on this side, which I think I did it before, so it might be laying around there. But we'll see. We'll see what's what. I think this is the area where I'm going to end up putting the 10AS system, the 10AS box, and the switches. because it'll be just much easier to run into here, right? Okay, so a little update. I put the piece in. I drilled one hole here, put a 1/4-20 with a nut behind it. That was very difficult to get to, I'm not gonna lie. So now I'm gonna move these cables out of the way. They are right in the way of the output here. But that's all right. I'm gonna just tuck these towards the back. There are still people shooting off fireworks, and it's several days after the 4th. I guess this one will stay over here on this side. And then this will go in here. It's amazing in how good a condition the rubber is down here after 32 years. This is most definitely the same dash that the car came with. All right, let's see. Let's work this on there. It's not quite on there. Oh, there we go. All right. I might actually cut this a little shorter and get a little bit longer convoluted pipe here, duct work. If I cut it a little shorter here, I'll be able to get into it a lot easier, but I'll be able to do that with the frame and stuff inside. So now that everything's tucked out of the way, I'm gonna blow it out like I said I would, and after the dust settles, I'll put the frame back in. I'm gonna put this frame back in there. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so late at night, almost 11. So this side here ends up being just a little higher, but I think it's gonna be just fine. We'll know once we present the piece. I put in the metal. That was quite difficult. I will admit, quite difficult to put in. It's almost like it's wider. And I'm seeing that it is a little wider here. But we'll see. Let me see if I see this little piece here. Yeah. Okay, this piece will go in here. Okay, no, it'll fit. Okay. Yeah, I was afraid that screw right there on this little remnant piece was going to be a little too far off, but no, looks like it will fit. Looks like it'll fit right there. Cool. Okay. Well, that's a plus. Now to the hardest part that I think of this whole thing, even though putting this metal piece in was quite difficult. Putting the gray piece back in here. I went ahead and connected this already. I connected that one, as you can see there, from right there to over there. So now, the gray piece. I'm gonna try to see if I can put it in without having to take this off, because man, putting that back in there is gonna be a little bit of a pain reaching in there. It's in. It dawned on me that if I did this, if I lowered these all the way down, both sides, I was able to get it in, and then I stuck my hand in between the plastic piece and the metal and raised it up a couple of clicks, and then with just a little bit of pressure on the plastic piece coming down, I was able to get this part in. And once this part's in, this part over here has enough leverage for you to reach in and lift it up. Now vents are closed, this piece is in. I'm gonna start by putting the screws along the bottom that I know go in first, and then put the plate back in, and then put the top piece in. Let's see if it all works. And here we go. It's daylight again. This was a pain to put in. I was able to tuck it in under the lip by this great piece moving up. So it's tucked in. I was able to put in the tops with the little adjustable vents. So you can adjust it to either shoot more towards the windscreen or more towards you, or close them all the way. Same thing on this side. This was the side where the base of it was a little bit raised, and it came out just fine. So there it is. And the metal piece is in. I put in the base for the mud center console. Added some foam in here and into the other side. Where is that piece? But there it is. Here's another angle. Little vents in here. I didn't glue them in. I just put a little dum-dum around them in order to get them in there. Alright. So it's coming together. It's coming together. Looking forward to finishing it. There's this little red wire that gives power to everything, but then there's another cable that was coiled up in here, which I have to find again. This little red cable, and I have to figure out what that cable is for, because it might be just the right cable that I need, and I can get rid of one of these, and that's it. All right, thank you very much for watching my Defender 90 build. If you like what you see, please hit the like button and subscribe. I always do little things that will help someone like me that's trying to upgrade or do some modifications on their Defender. Well, hope you like what I put together for you this time. There'll be another video in a couple of weeks. Thanks.